Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about basic probability and understanding that probability is based on experimental events. Alright, and basically when we're talking about basic probability we mean that we're talking about the chances of something happening in our daily life. So for example, you might hear the weather forecaster say that the probability of rain is 60%. Okay, well, probability can be written as a percent. And if you were to hear a weather forecaster say that the probability of rain is 60%, that would mean that it's a little bit better than a 50-50 chance of rain happening in the next day or so. When we say experimental events, we are talking about things like coin tosses. So if we've got a coin here, okay, so if we've got coins, we've got dice or a die, we've got one, okay, all right, and spinners, all right, okay. These are the sorts of things we're talking about when we are talking about experimental events. When we use these types of things, there are other things that we can use, but these are the most common in our end of learning about probability. When we use these and we work out how often a certain event happens when we use them. So for example, if we flip a coin 50 times, how many heads do we actually get? How many tails do we actually get? All right, if we're looking at dice, then we would throw the dice over and over and over again, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 times, and we would write down how many times we got the 1, so how many times we got the 1, how many times we got the 2, how many times we rolled a 3, how many times we rolled a 4, and so on. If we were using the spinner, then we would spin this little needle here, this little pointer. We would spin it around and around and around, and we would say how many times did it land on orange, say. How many times did it land on red? How many times did it land on blue? How many times did it land on white? Okay, and so those are all experimental events, all right, because we are actually carrying out an experiment to see how many times we get the result or the event that we want to get, all right. So probability is really talking about how likely it is that something is going to happen, usually in some amount of time. Okay, so that's really all experimental events means, and these are three very simple examples of what we might use in a primary school probability lesson to talk about experimental events and have a look to see what they would look like. Okay? I hope you found that useful. Good luck.